In this video, I'll be making use of the verb analyse. So the question is, analyse the relationship between tectonic plates and the formation of earthquakes. 3 marks. So first step is to try and understand what the word analyse means. So analyse, according to the HSC verbs list, means identify components and the relationship among them. So that's what analyse means. It's 3 markers, so looking for 3 points. And it's best to use an idea paragraph format. So idea, if you recall, is just basically a way of structuring a response. So I is for identify, D is for describe, and E is for explain. Now A is at the end, and it's typically the conclusion, and it's usually an analysis, a very brief 1-sentence analysis, conclusion. So I'll show you how it works. Now in an exam, you probably wouldn't use this, you wouldn't write, so let's start with identify. You probably wouldn't write identify in your response. You probably put that to the side, but it's just good to sort of show you how it works in this example. So plate tectonics, tectonic plates, and the formation of earthquakes. So we need to sort of somehow link these two concepts together. Identify, so plate tectonics. So according, good way to start this, according to the theory of plate tectonics, Earth's crust is divided into pieces called tectonic plates, floating on the asthenosphere beneath. Okay, so that's 1 mark there. So I'll put a 1 and a circle around it. So that's where the mark would go. Now, examiners, different examiners, they probably have different ways of structuring this as a sample response, but for me, this is how I typically write it, okay? And I'm sure examiners would look at this and go, okay, yeah, this is typically what a response would look like, okay? So it doesn't have to be word for word, but as long as you mention the key ideas, which is plate tectonics states that Earth's crust is made of tectonic plates. Let's go on to D now, describe. So that's 1 mark there, describe now. Describe means to sort of sketch out the general features of something. So if I was to say describe the chair, which is red, so you'd say it's red, it's small, it's, I don't know, it's got 4 legs, and so on and so forth. So you can write movement of tectonic plates can occur in different ways. It's best to mention an example here because earthquakes are formed from different plate movements, different ways. For example, via convergence boundaries. So I'll draw a sketch here. Converge means to come together. Yeah. So 2 plates, when they come together, when they hit, they collide, they release energy in the form of seismic waves, and that's what you get as an earthquake. So 2 converging plates. You've also got transform boundaries, where plates slide past each other and they rub together, friction creating seismic energy as well. But I'm just going to stick with the convergent boundaries in this case. Convergent boundaries where plates collide, causing one plate to sink beneath the other. You put in brackets subduction. Okay, so sometimes when 2 plates come together, get rid of these here, there's so much force involved, one can actually sink beneath another, right, if it's heavy enough. That's called subduction. Subduction means the sinking of one plate beneath another. So I've described there the process of an earthquake forming. I should say the step before that precedes an earthquake forming. So that's another mark there. This in turn creates intense pressure and friction. Keyword here is friction. When there's friction, there's energy. When there's energy, you get seismic waves in this case, resulting in the release of seismic energy, causing earthquakes. Okay, seismic is a fancy way of saying earthquake, yeah? So there you go. That's your next mark there. Explain, I should mention. Whoops. So let's describe there. Explain. Let's put E here for now. I've explained how an earthquake forms in terms of two plates colliding, converging. Now, the describe and explain, I could put them together here as well, but I'm just showing you, spacing them out. Identify, describe, explain. You can write a conclusion as well at the end, but it's probably not necessary in this case. If it's a 3 marker. If it's more like 4 or 5 marks, then yeah. But you could say, in conclusion, plate tectonics directly influences the occurrence and distribution of earthquakes. So I'll now leave you with an activity to do, a question using the verb analyze. So question, analyze the impact of plate tectonics on the formation of different landforms. And let's say it's a 3 marker. Okay, so landforms are mountains like the Himalayas, for example. We can use that. Or things like rift valleys, like the East African Rift. So that's using the verb analyze.